After 2 decades of shared dreams and heartbreak, she finally walked away. But now, after finding love again, one powerful moment threatens to unravel everything she's built. Christine Brown, the heart of Sister Wives, said her final goodbye to the world she once held together. Yet, just months after her emotional farewell, she and her new husband, David Woolley, faced their first storm. And fans are asking the question no one ever thought they would. Did Christine's happily ever after come too soon?
What I love about
This is the story of Christine's final goodbye, and the fight that tested her new beginning. Part 1. It began as a dream, a plural family built on faith, unity, and unconditional love. Kody and his wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and later Robyn, captured the world's attention. Their story broke taboos, redefined marriage on television, and gave TLC its biggest reality success in a decade. Christine wasn't just another wife, she was the heart, the nurturer, the mother who held chaos together when cracks began to show. But those cracks would eventually split the entire family. Because while Christine was keeping the family alive, Kody's heart was drifting elsewhere. By the late 2010s, fans noticed something changing. Kody's attention shifted, his affection reserved mostly for Robyn. Christine's smile began to fade, episode by episode. "I just don't feel important anymore." That single line, 6 words, marked the beginning of the end. Viewers watched as the woman who once radiated warmth slowly turned into a reflection of heartbreak. And while fans saw the cracks on screen, behind the cameras, Christine had already started planning her escape. In 2021, Christine made the boldest decision of her life. She packed her bags, left Flagstaff, and walked away, not only from Kody but from decades of emotional struggle. Fan, Christine gave me the courage to choose myself. And that's exactly what she did. She chose herself. She chose peace. And in doing so, she inspired millions of women across America who had felt invisible for far too long. But what no one expected was that her journey to healing would lead her right into the arms of someone new. In early 2023, the internet went into meltdown. Christine Brown had found love again, with a man named David Woolley. Fans flooded the comments. "She deserves this." David wasn't from the polygamous world. He was grounded, loving, real, and he saw Christine not as one of many, but as the one. "Christine. He makes me feel seen, every single day." Together, they redefined what love after heartbreak could look like. But even as happiness bloomed, a storm was brewing behind the scenes at TLC. Because when Christine said, "I'm done," she meant more than just Kody. In November 2025, TLC made it official. Christine and David Woolley would be leaving Sister Wives after 20 seasons. Christine, thank you for watching our story, for supporting me through every chapter. This is goodbye, but also a new beginning. But whispers soon followed, rumors that the couple's departure wasn't mutual. Sources hinted at creative conflicts, exhaustion from public scrutiny, and disagreements with producers over storyline direction. And one producer's comment would ignite the firestorm. "We wanted more drama. Christine wanted peace." That one sentence summed up the final battle between reality and reality TV. Christine's story had evolved beyond the show's script, and TLC wasn't ready for that. Christine Brown's exit marks the end of an era, and the beginning of a new one. From heartbreak to healing, from silence to self-love, she's proven that the most powerful stories don't need cameras, they need courage. As she steps away from Sister Wives, Christine leaves behind more than a reality show. She leaves a legacy, a message to every woman watching: you can start over. And as fans brace for life after Sister Wives, whispers suggest TLC may already be developing a new series, centered entirely on Christine and David's next chapter. Christine and David, a love beyond Sister Wives, coming soon. Let's celebrate women who choose freedom, love, and a life on their own terms. Part 2. To understand the pain behind this episode, we must go back to where it all began. Christine Brown, once the third wife in a polygamous marriage, walked away from heartbreak in 2021, choosing independence, self-love, and a chance to heal. She found her freedom, and then, unexpectedly, she found him. David Woolley, a man who wasn't from her old world, a man who loved her for her laughter, her courage, her light. But even the strongest love stories can be tested when real life enters the picture. Their wedding was a fairy tale, a celebration of second chances. Fans called it the happiest ending in Sister Wives history. But this week's episode reminded everyone, even happy endings come with growing pains. Episode 14 of the new season aired on TLC last night. What began as a simple conversation about family boundaries turned into the most emotionally charged exchange we've ever seen between Christine and David. Christine: sometimes I feel like you don't really hear me when I talk about my kids. David: that's not true, Christine. I'm just trying to help. Christine: help doesn't always mean fixing things. Sometimes it means listening. It wasn't about anger. It was about two people navigating love after pain. But fans felt the tension, and they knew this wasn't scripted. Because what happened next left viewers in tears, and divided the fandom overnight. For the first time since their marriage, Christine and David showed cracks in their perfect picture. Their disagreement wasn't just about communication. It was about trust, about healing from old wounds, and about the ghosts of Kody Brown that still linger in Christine's heart. For years, Christine's voice went unheard. Now, with David, she's still learning what it means to be heard fully. And David, stepping into the public eye, is learning that love under the spotlight comes with pressure of its own. But just as fans began to worry, a twist behind the scenes changed the narrative completely. After the episode aired, social media exploded. Some accused TLC of editing the moment to look worse than it was. Others pointed to Christine's emotional Instagram post hours before broadcast, a message that read, "Real love is raw, imperfect, and healing." Sources close to production revealed that the argument had already been resolved before cameras even stopped rolling. The couple reportedly shared an off-camera moment of forgiveness that never made it to air. But TLC had one goal: ratings. And conflict sells. Insiders say Christine was hesitant about airing the scene, fearing it would misrepresent their relationship. But producers convinced her it would show real growth. And that's the irony. The episode that looked like a fracture was actually a moment of connection. The internet had a meltdown. Reddit threads lit up overnight. Are Christine and David okay? Was it all for TV? Some fans felt betrayed. Others said it was the realest moment in Sister Wives history. They're human. That's what love looks like. I can't believe TLC exploited their private moment. Christine later addressed the reactions in a heartfelt Instagram live. Her message was simple: we're good. We argue, we grow, we love harder. That single line silenced the rumors. But the episode sparked a deeper question among fans. Can love truly heal old wounds, or did they just fade until the next storm? In the final moments of the episode, Christine and David sit together, holding hands. The tension dissolved. Tears, forgiveness, laughter. It wasn't a perfect marriage. It was a real one. Christine, we're learning how to be a team. And that's new for both of us. And maybe that's the real message. Not every argument is a crisis. Sometimes, it's the bridge to deeper understanding. And as new leaks suggest, TLC may already be filming a special, Christine and David, Building a Life Together, a spin-off chronicling their post-conflict journey toward renewal. Through love, loss, and learning to speak again, Christine Brown's story remains one thing above all: human. And maybe, that's why millions of women across America still see themselves in her reflection. Drop a comment below. What does real love look like to you? Let's talk about second chances, forgiveness, and the courage to stay even when it's hard. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. For 20 unforgettable seasons, Christine Brown lived in the shadow of one man's dream. Kody Brown, the patriarch of TLC's most controversial family, built a life of plural marriage that promised unity, but delivered heartbreak. Love should multiply, not divide. But as time went on, division became their new normal. While Kody's affection shifted toward his youngest wife, Robyn, Christine's once radiant smile began to fade. She cooked, cleaned, and cared for a family that no longer saw her light. "I just don't feel loved, not the way I deserve to." That sentence would echo through millions of living rooms across America. It wasn't just reality TV, it was a reflection of women everywhere who had forgotten how to put themselves first. But what the cameras didn't show was that Christine was already building her exit long before anyone realized. In 2021, Christine made her most courageous move: she walked away. Away from Kody. Away from the spiritual marriage that had defined her adult life. She sold her home, packed her life into boxes, and drove toward Utah and freedom. In a legal filing in November 2021, Christine confirmed she and Kody were spiritually divorced, breaking a decade-long union that began in 1994. It was more than just the end of a relationship, it was the end of a culture of silence. For the first time, she was the author of her own story. But every ending brings a new beginning, and Christine's new beginning was waiting just around the corner. In early 2023, Christine introduced someone new to the world: David Woolley. A contractor, a widower, and most importantly, a man outside the world of polygamy. "I finally found the love of my life. He's wonderful, kind, incredible, and he makes me feel seen." They met through mutual friends, bonded over family, and fell in love fast. Fans called it a fairy tale. The woman who broke free from heartbreak now found her forever. But even fairy tales have shadows, and as the cameras returned for a new season, that shadow revealed itself. In the newest season of Sister Wives, Christine and David's love faced its first test. What started as a quiet conversation turned into their most emotional exchange yet. "Christine, sometimes I just need space to handle things my way." "David, I'm trying to help you, Christine." "Christine, help doesn't always mean fixing. It means hearing me." It wasn't loud. It wasn't cruel. But it was real. And that's what made it so powerful. Fans froze in disbelief. This wasn't the Christine they knew. This was raw, unfiltered love under pressure. Seeing Christine stand her ground but still stay loving, that's growth. Real marriage right there. But not everyone saw it that way. Some accused TLC of exploiting their vulnerability for ratings. Others worried the same heartbreak from her past was returning. Then, hours before the episode aired, Christine posted something cryptic that turned the conversation upside down. Real love is raw, imperfect, and healing. Christine Brown, Instagram, October 2025. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed the argument wasn't a fracture, it was a breakthrough. Christine and David had already reconciled before filming Wrapped. TLC producers allegedly kept the raw footage for emotional impact. According to Entertainment Weekly's November report, the disagreement was a moment of communication growth, not conflict. What we saw was not the fall of their love, but proof of its depth. Christine had once been silenced. Now she was learning how to speak her truth without fear. And as fans debated online, Christine quietly prepared for one final, shocking announcement. In November 2025, after 20 unforgettable seasons, Christine and David confirmed their departure from Sister Wives. In an emotional video posted to TLC's YouTube channel, Christine said goodbye to fans with tears in her eyes. "You've watched me grow, fall, and rise again. Thank you for letting me share my story. This isn't the end, just a new beginning." Her words closed a chapter not just for her, but for millions of women who saw themselves in her fight for love and self-respect. Christine taught me it's never too late to start over. She's my hero. From heartbreak in Flagstaff to hope in Utah, Christine's story became more than a show, it became a movement. A reminder that love doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. And as whispers grow that TLC may be developing Christine and David, life after Sister Wives, one thing is certain, Christine's story isn't over. She walked away from heartbreak, and found herself. This was Christine Brown's final goodbye, and her first step into forever. For 20 seasons, she carried joy, pain, and purpose in equal measure. But behind every smile, a quiet question haunted her: was this really love, or just sacrifice? Ironically, just 1 year before her departure, Utah softened penalties on plural marriage, a symbolic victory for the Browns, but an emotional contradiction for Christine. The law may have forgiven the lifestyle, but Christine could no longer forgive the loneliness. While the courts rewrote history, Christine rewrote her own destiny. It started quietly, a message, a shared memory, a laugh over coffee. David wasn't a headline, he was human. And for the first time, Christine didn't have to share love, she could finally receive it fully. Fans flooded her Instagram. "You deserve this happiness, Christine." Within days, #Team Christine trended across platforms. Psychologists say couples who've survived emotional trauma often struggle with control and safety. One wants to fix, the other wants to be heard. Christine isn't arguing against love, she's protecting her independence. David's trying to help, but for her, help once meant control. In that moment, millions debated not just a marriage, but what healthy love really means. Within hours, #Christine and David fight trended nationwide. Fans dissected every frame, some praised her honesty, others feared a deeper crack. But late that night, Christine and David went live on Instagram, laughing together, confirming they were stronger than ever. The storm had passed. Christine's story transcended television. To women who felt unheard in marriages, she became a symbol, proof that walking away isn't failure, it's freedom. Mary found purpose in independence, Janelle embraced peace in solitude, and Robyn remained with the weight of loyalty. Each woman's path, a reflection of what love costs, and what it gives. Months later, Christine and David quietly returned to Flagstaff, not to revisit pain, but to reclaim peace. Standing before their old home, Christine whispered, "This time, I'm free because I chose me." And for the millions who watched her journey, that was the real ending, and the perfect beginning. If Christine's journey moved you, hit like and subscribe for more stories that celebrate strength, love, and second chances. Drop a comment below. What lesson did Christine teach you about love and self-worth? We read every single one.